Hey y'all, welcome to Fitting and Homemaking. My name is Sarah, and today we are going to be cleaning my dirty kitchen. So here you can see the dishwasher is clean, and that is why we have such a backup of dishes here. These are dishes I brought home from work. These are supper dishes from the night before. These are dishes my husband brought home from work. Dishes from breakfast, and just a very messy counter, and that griddle and that cutting board are also dirty. So here we go. If you are body doubling it, you have about a half hour of this. In reality, this took me nearly an hour to clean, which was kind of sucky for me, but that was where we were. So here I'm just trying to make sure that this countertop is cleaned off because this is where we put clean dishes on to dry. And I knew I was going to have to go through some cycles of that because I'm going to have to empty that dishwasher, refill it, and then wash the hand wash dishes, do the countertops and the sink, and then clean up the floor. So that is what is on tap for today. And you might be able to tell that I am wearing my earbuds, whatever we want to call them during this, because I honestly did not want to do this. Everything had backed up. It felt very overwhelming. So I just put in my earbuds and turned on my favorite YouTube channel of the moment that I am currently just absolutely binging years worth of content. And that is The Witch's Cookery. And I think I've talked about her channel before, but I really have been wanting to try to incorporate nature more into my homemaking and also kind of live more seasonally, because that feels like what we should be doing. I think we've gotten way too far away from doing that. And also maybe it's more appealing to me right now because as we are getting close to winter, that means that we can slow the F down, right? We're animals. We are not meant to go 1,000 miles per hour 24/7. We're not meant to have information fed to us 24/7. We are meant to have seasons of rest and seasons of busyness. And I feel like with how society, at least, or especially in America, is built, it is not very conducive to slowing down, or it seems like people see failure in that. And I am talking purely from an American perspective here. I think other cultures in the world have a much better grasp on this concept. And maybe, I don't know. America is very capitalistic, money-driven, productivity-driven, and I think too much of our identity is tied up into that, honestly, to be perfectly honest. Look at that reach. Anyway, forgotten I'd done that. I don't think I do it too often on camera, but I do close a lot of things with my feet just because I've got a longer reach there than my arms, obviously, as most people do. Anyhow, I've noticed that, it's a season where when it gets colder, you kind of want to hibernate more. You want to have a cozy environment to nest in, and I am all about that. But then we also have the commercialism of the holidays, where it just seems like everything is go, go, go. There's all these activities that, we're supposed to be doing to create these family memories, but, creating family memories of just reading the stories at bedtime by the fire, like that's perfectly fine too. They don't need to go to all of these showy light shows or, all of these workshop activities or have 5,000 pictures taken with Santa or whatever it might be, holiday train rides. Like all of that stuff is fun and cool, but a lot of it is expensive and on a specific schedule. And, maybe your kids just aren't feeling that holiday train ride at 11:30 in the morning on a particular day. But you know what? You paid $200 for those tickets for the four of you. So they're going to go on that train ride, even if they don't want to go. in that particular moment. I mean, yeah, they'll have fun once they get on, but you know what I mean. Parents, you absolutely know what I mean, right? So I think we should allow ourselves to slow down here a little bit. And I am lucky enough to have a boss who very much understands that. I think maybe because he has traveled quite extensively and he has lived outside of the States and experienced cultures who, you know, kind of do being human better than Americans do. I don't know. Can I even say that? I think I can. I just think other people are kinder to themselves than Americans are to a certain extent. And that's, I mean, that's a vast generalization. Like, you know, everyone is an individual. But on the whole, other cultures value rest more. Other cultures value leisure more than Americans do. Sometimes it's nice just to sit in the quiet and savor an experience rather than rushing through one thing to get to the next thing, or working so much so you can afford to do all of these things, when really the better thing to do would be maybe just to take some vacation and rest. So like I said, I'm very lucky. My boss is one of those people who is like, no, please take all of your vacation leave. I want you to be enjoying life. You have a life outside of work. Everyone understands that. You are a human being. You need to take care of yourself. You need to spend time with your family. Please take all your vacation leave. So I think I am bad about that. I'm very bad about that. And I don't know if it's just being brought up in an American culture. My parents weren't terribly workaholics or anything like that. I mean, they worked when they were at work, and they tried not to bring it home when they didn't have to. So I don't think it's from that. I don't know if it's like just society at large, or maybe it's partially my ADHD. I have a lot of frantic energy. That doesn't mean I have a lot of physical energy or that I'm not freaking exhausted all the time now. But it's the energy that keeps you up at night when you really just want to sleep. It's that kind of energy, and I tend to do better when I am very, very active. So in the past, I've dealt with that by doing track, by doing competitive dance, by doing fencing, by running half marathons and the training for those half marathons. And those tended to be pretty healthy outlets to get that energy out to where I could actually sleep better at night. All right, sorry for the gap, folks. I heard Max making concerning noises and needed to ask if he needed to go out or if he was okay. But yeah, so I have a lot of frantic energy, so I feel like I tend to pour that into not as healthy outlets now, which is something I need to change. But I also just need to practice slowing down, because just like anything else, you get better at something when you practice it, even if it is slowing down and taking a few minutes to relax. So I think I will talk to my boss in our next one-on-one and just let him know, hey, I'm going to be taking random days off soon, because I want to have a little bit of a break from the holidays. I know I'm going to have a little bit of extra non-work work coming up because of the holidays. So I am going to, or my family is going to my mom's house for Thanksgiving, so I'm going to be bringing a couple of dishes. I don't get time off during the week of Thanksgiving, leading up to Thanksgiving, so I need to figure out scheduling that. We also have our annual bake day coming up the first Saturday in December, and that always tends to be a long day, so maybe I'll take a day off prior to that to try to practice slowing down. And my best friend is due to have her baby in the middle of December sometime. So I'd like to have a short visit with her and drop off some freezer meals. So I need to schedule time to make freezer meals. And all of this is more easily done when my kids are at daycare. So it's more convenient just for me to take off a day and get those things done so I can do it in a relaxed manner where I'm not being interrupted 5,000 times. Because I love my kids so much, and I actually don't want to cut into our family time together, but attempting to do those things while my kids are home, wanting to be involved, which is amazing, but also I'm not going to be able to get through the things that I want to get through for my friend, and maintaining that friendship is very important to me. So I think I'll probably take some time off for that. And I am fortunate enough too, because I suck at taking time off unless my kids are sick and I have to take sick leave. For perspective, I have like 1 day of sick leave that I have finally accrued back, but I have a lot of vacation leave that I have not used because I can use my sick leave if my kids are sick. So yeah, I think that's the plan going forward, but just to kind of bring it back around, I am binging The Witch's Cookery because she is really practiced at kind of living with the seasons, and she admits when things get hard and like, here are some things that we can do to help deal with that. And it's not like the toxic positivity, everything's perfect, but I find my life is more enjoyable when I slow down, when I live seasonally, when I bake seasonally, and just living more with the natural rhythms of the world. And that is something I would really like to learn to do more of, but I know that I cannot possibly put one more thing on my plate at this moment. So my plan, which I've kind of gotten some books and browsed through a little bit, but my plan is just to keep binging her YouTube channel when I can have it on the background and kind of listen to it, because it gives me a lot of joy. She has a very soothing voice, and I like learning from her. But I am not going to reinvent the wheel in this season of life. If I want to know how to make a household cleaner, I'm just going to look up one of her videos where she makes a household cleaner and try that and see if it works for me. And if it doesn't work for me, I can look up a different household cleaner and make that. But I'm not going to be making my own recipe of household cleaner because that takes more mental energy than I have right now. And acknowledging that and accepting that is okay. I just watched a video also by Millennial Meg that she put out of 10 things to opt out of during this holiday season. I think she's hilarious, and she's like the epitome of the mom who just has 0 F's left to give about certain things, and I really appreciate that about her. So she's like I said, she's a busy mom. Her daughter is about the same age as my daughter, I believe. And there are just some things that you have to opt out of. No one can do everything. It's not good for you. We're not meant to be doing that, right? So anyhow, I would like to take the channel more in the direction of being more in tune with nature, living seasonally, and incorporating that in. So like, this fall, you've already seen I have had a lot more baking on my channel than I normally do throughout the year. There are less cleaning videos and there are more baking videos because when it gets colder, I want to bake more. I want those yummy baked goods. I want to eat warm carbs and fruit and cheesy things, right? That's just what I enjoy doing when it starts to get colder and darker. And I get a lot of joy out of doing that, as well as nourishment, right? So I think that's what I will be more focusing on trying to incorporate for the next year for this channel. Not that you guys asked, but I've got to talk about something for a half hour, right? It actually took me a while I realized I had to do a voiceover for this video. I was like, oh gosh, do I just do it as an ASMR? Because I'm not feeling particularly chatty. I don't know what I want to talk about. Like, what have I talked about that I haven't talked about before that might be interesting to people that they can listen to while they are also cleaning their disasters of a kitchen. Or maybe your cleaning is, maybe you're just tidying your whole house in the amount of time it took me to clean this kitchen. But yeah, I have to talk about something, but I seriously did think about just leaving this as an ASMR video because, sometimes it's hard to think about things to talk about and have the mental energy to do that. But I think I really would like to take the channel more in the being in tune with nature, living more naturally, because that's also something that I want to instill in my kids. And if I have that goal on multiple fronts of my life, it will make it a little bit easier to incorporate into all aspects of my life. It will take research to do, which, like I said, I simply don't have the time to do that right now. So I will be leaning heavily on other folks who have already done the research and are presenting it in entertaining ways, essentially. So hopefully y'all will look forward to that. I have decided that I am not going to do Vlogmas this year. It was a lot last year and I learned a lot, but I simply don't have the time, or like I feel like all of the really Christmassy themed things that I did, like my favorite Christmas movies don't change. My favorite Christmas music doesn't change, you know? I probably will have a video at some point of me wrapping presents, you know, but we don't need to see that ad nauseum. And, oh, I will say I have gotten some of my Christmas shopping done. I have my Christmas shopping for my sister's family done. So that's all been shipped to them. They live in Michigan and I live in North Carolina, so I just ship it directly to them, and my sister is kind enough to wrap it for me, for the kids and for her husband, and then I send her husband my gift for my sister so that he wraps it for her. So my brother-in-law is also very kind to do that. But I was able to find something for my mom recently, and my husband and I have been discussing what to get for the kids. And on my husband's side of the family, we do like a name draw, and people usually load a wish list up within this name draw app. So I already have that stuff taken care of, but I haven't wrapped anything yet. So I need to wrap my mom's gift and the name draw gift for my husband's family. And then obviously I need to get something for my husband too. And usually I get Max a toy that he can tear apart, because we don't get him those very often. A lot of times in the past they've lasted about 5 minutes and it's just done, but he gets such joy out of it. But lately I've noticed the last toy that I got him, he's been savoring it for quite a long time. So maybe, and he's looking at me right now, he knows I'm talking about him. So maybe I will get him another one of those that he hasn't had before. Maybe the squeaker sound different or something like that. But he is definitely what I would consider a heavy chewer. None of the things that are supposed to be chew proof, like the things made out of fire hoses and stuff, last literally 10 minutes before he chews through them. So we're very lucky he's a very sweet dog, because I imagine he could do some damage if he chose to. But Max would never do that. I've definitely shoved my hand directly into his mouth while he's chewing on something that he's not supposed to be eating and fished it out of them, and he hasn't bitten me. So we're lucky he's a very sweet boy. Anyhow, let's see, what else? We have about 10 minutes left. I am cleaning off the stove here, so we're on the countertop portion. Clean off the stove, and then we'll just clean off the floor. And then I have in this video, since it's just cleaning the kitchen, I've tried to go ahead and get some pictures of satisfying before and afters for you. I usually absolutely forget to do that, and to be perfectly honest, I absolutely forgot to do that here. But I did do a beginning walkthrough, and I did do an at the end walkthrough, so I was able to get some image grabs from the video for you guys so that you can see the difference. So hopefully that will be enjoyable for you coming up. After this video, I do have, well, not directly after it, the next video that's going to post after this is going to be another, I don't even know if I'd call it a cozy fall recipe. It's, Sarah had things left over that were going to rot if I didn't do something with them. And I just weirdly referred to myself in third person. Apologies. I'm used to referring to myself as mommy to the kids sometimes, and that's a habit I'm trying to break. I don't know if other people do that because you want them to, like, I feel like you do that when they're learning your name, like mommy as your name, right? And now it's just a weird habit that I have, and sometimes, I don't know. I need to stop doing it, though. I need to start using the appropriate pronouns that I prefer, so that my kids can, learn that too. But what was I saying? Oh, I have another video coming up this Saturday that it's essentially making it's a cozy fall recipe, but it's also a simmer pot, so it's a dual purpose thing where I had some leftover apple cider that I needed to get rid of. And on this day, I had also started making a household cleaner, which will be an upcoming video, but a few weeks along. And so I had some leftover fruit, but I also had like half a gallon of leftover apple cider from when I made the apple cider donut cake recipe. So I needed to do something with that. And I thought, you know what would be cozy and fall-like, after having listened to Bex, who is the person who runs the Witch's Cookery, in my ears while I was cleaning this. I'm like, I'm going to make a simmer pot because that's going to make me happy. It's going to end up making mulled cider. It's going to be delicious. I can drink it, I can smell it, and then I can drink it. The house will smell nice. And especially after cleaning a space, like, I don't want the house to smell like cleaner. The kitchen generally isn't too bad because I just use like Dawn dish soap for the most part. But yeah, I don't like the smell of cleaners in the house. Also why I'm trying out a new homemade cleaner recipe. So that will be the next video that you get, is a dump it in simmer pot / mulled cider recipe that isn't really a recipe. It's more of like, take whatever you have, toss it in the pot, let it heat up, and then drink it. All right, and here I am taking some time to clean out my little teapot that I love. It is a little bit hard to clean the, what is that called? The spout part, because it is a smaller teapot. I guess I could get a straw cleaner and try that, but I was just using a rag, like a reusable paper towel thing that soaked up. But tea stain's not always the easiest to get out, and I'm pretty lazy when I clean that because I know I'm going to use it again. That's me looking over at the computer's kind of right behind where the camera is in this view. So I was wanting to see what she was doing. I think she was making something pretty or cooking something delicious. So even though I've been cleaning my kitchen for probably about 45 minutes at this point in the video, you could see I had a little smile on my face there, and that's how we do it. So I know my content isn't as uplifting as hers, but hopefully you have at least gotten a little bit of enjoyment out of the incessant chatting and random rambling of topics here. Oh, yay, we're at sweeping part. That means we're almost done. And I could have kicked myself. I should have mopped, and I just didn't. I didn't mop this day because I was over it. I feel like after you've been cleaning a space that is this small, I mean, you see me standing in the space. It is not a large space at all. After it taking an hour to clean that space alone, you're kind of over it. And I think I knocked into you guys a few times with this broom, so apologies. Yeah. You guys were a little bit in the way here. I was trying to get under the bench because there were some crumbs under there. But yeah, if you like this kind of content, I do make sure I kind of rotate through cleaning content and organizing and baking recipes. I'm hoping to do, I do have a homemade cleaner video coming up, like I mentioned before, because I'm going to try to experiment with those and see which I like best and which smell I can tolerate for a cleaner, because I'm overly sensitive to smells, and what actually cleans well enough that makes it worth it to make the cleaner. So maybe that'll be a series of different homemade cleaner recipes. I'll review which ones work the best, which ones smell the best. That's an idea. But yeah, I thought it would be a shame to like leave these dishes out drying for the after. I was like, no, put them up so that you have a nice clean countertop for the after shot. It's all for the YouTube folks. This is partially why I have a YouTube channel. It's to motivate me on days like this where I just don't want to do it. And it gives me a little bit of a creative outlet for doing something that's maybe not creative. And honestly, I generally don't mind cleaning. I like, if I have time to do it, I don't mind doing it. But yeah, it's called fitting in homemaking, because I literally have to fit in cleaning just any time that I can. So this is in between work tasks. I'm also probably looking over there, checking at my email. But yeah, sorry, I started to do my little please like, subscribe, comment spiel, and then I got distracted by what I was doing on the screen. But if you are interested in the kind of upcoming content that I have been chatting about during this video, please subscribe. I noticed about 85% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, and I really would like to grow the channel and be able to do some more things with it. But it does give me a nice creative outlet. I did a while back put in a post in my community section about, I hit my 1 year anniversary in mid-October-ish, and if I got enough questions there, I'd do like a Q&A video. My two most loyal, other than my sister, lovely subscribers, did put some questions in there. So I don't know if I'm going to do a video, if there's enough for a video, or if I will just respond to those posts. I'm still kind of noodling on that of what I want to do. But there might be a video coming up about answering those questions, or I just might go to the post and answer them, since I didn't get a lot of response from that. But if you have any questions for me that you would like to ask, feel free to go into the community section of my page, and there's a post there. Just go ahead and reply there. And I will see that and acknowledge it, and either answer it in a video or answer it down there kind of all at one time. Here is the final result. That cup is there because that's the cup we used to fill Max's water bowl with. Here we go. Everything is kind of back in its temporary place while we are still working on the backsplash. All the fruit has congregated in the fruit corner with the cookies. That doesn't look clean, but it is clean. And the satisfying before and after. But yeah, comment down below if anything that I talked about was interesting. If you want to see any specific content coming up on the channel, I am very open to suggestions. And thanks so much for watching all the way to the end and seeing these before and afters. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.